Did you know the same corporations that addicted millions to cigarettes are now behind your favorite cookies and snacks? When tobacco profits declined, they didn't disappear. They just changed the product. In the late 70s and 80s, tobacco giants like Philip Morris and R.J. Reynolds saw the writing on the wall. Philip Morris bought Kraft, grabbing Oreo and Kool-Aid. R.J. Reynolds acquired Nabisco, Chips Ahoy, and Fig Newtons. These weren't random investments. They were strategic moves into the sugar aisle. They brought their addiction science from nicotine straight into the kitchen, engineering the perfect bliss point. That perfect combo of sugar, fat, and salt that lights up your brain and makes you crave more. A University of Kansas study found tobacco-owned brands were way more likely to create addictive snacks. Same marketing playbook: cartoon mascots, bright colors, toys, and sports sponsorships. Internal memos literally said, "Focus on kids where our strength is greatest. Hook them young, keep them for life." Fast forward to today, same addiction science, different product. Enter glyphosate, the weed killer in your food and water. Linked to cancer and neurological disease, glyphosate is everywhere, even in rain and baby formula. Thanks to Section 453, chemical companies are shielded from lawsuits unless the EPA changes labels, which takes years. If this sounds familiar, it should. It's the exact same delay and deny strategy tobacco used for decades. Wonder why chronic illness is common, your water tastes weird, or doctors dismiss symptoms? It's not bad luck. It's policies that protect corporations, not people. Silence only helps those at the top. But when we speak out and connect the dots, the playbook loses its power. Check the sources. University studies, internal memos, legal docs all tell the same story, different decades, same betrayal. But now that you see the pattern, you can't unsee it.
Why you're sick. The air we breathe is expiring us before we desire. Our environments are quietly harming us, especially those of us with leaky bodies, trauma-wired brains, and sensitive lungs. If you're wondering why you feel exhausted, inflamed, or dismissed by doctors, this may be why. Indoor air, home, office, gym, school. Scented candles. Release synthetic fragrance and paraffin soot that inflame leaky lungs. Air fresheners. Contain VOCs that disrupt hormones and trigger histamine overload. Cleaning products. Bleach, ammonia, and synthetic sprays worsen inflammation and damage mucosal barriers. Mold spores. Hide in walls, carpets, HVAC systems, and under sinks, especially in older buildings. Dust and dander. Carry allergens and toxins that trigger MCAS and CIRS symptoms. Meditation incense sticks. Often contain synthetic binders and perfumes that irritate leaky lungs. Essential oil diffusers. Can overwhelm sensitive nervous systems and trigger mast cell reactions. Paint, furniture, and flooring. Off-gas formaldehyde and other chemicals for years. Humidity imbalance. Too dry or too damp air worsens respiratory and skin symptoms. Outdoor air, city, suburbs, parks. Pesticide drift. From lawns, golf courses, and farms, linked to neurological and hormonal illness. Vehicle exhaust. Contains benzene, nitrogen dioxide, and particulate matter that inflame the brain and lungs. Construction dust. Silica and heavy metals can linger in the air and settle in your home. Industrial pollution. Refineries and power plants release toxins that travel miles. Seasonal allergens. Pollen, mold, and spores trigger histamine and immune dysregulation. Burning wood or brush. Smoke contains fine particles that penetrate deep into leaky lungs. Airplane air. Recycled cabin air. Low humidity and high CO2 levels stress the nervous system and dehydrate tissues. Jet fuel residue. Trace chemicals can enter the cabin and trigger inflammation. Train air. Diesel fumes, especially in older trains or near platforms. Cruise ship cabin air. Recycled air systems. Spread mold spores and airborne viruses. If you're living with chronic fatigue, brain fog, insomnia, anxiety, IBS, MCAS, CIRS, or histamine intolerance, your air might be the root cause. We can't heal in the same toxic environments that made us sick, and we can't detox our bodies while still breathing in what's poisoning us. Your body is your Buddha berry tree, rooted in love, grounded in truth, and designed to bounce back from emotional storms, but only if we nourish it with what it truly needs. Clean air, free from mold, fragrance, and chemical sprays. Filtered water, without chlorine, fluoride, or microplastics. Organic, unsprayed food, especially berries, greens, roots, and herbs. Healthy fats, avocado, olive oil, coconut, and ghee. Minerals, magnesium, zinc, potassium, and trace elements from sea salt. Sunlight and grounding. Bare feet on the earth, morning sun on your face. Sleep hygiene. Early nights, no screens, and quiet rituals. Breathwork and movement. Gentle yoga, walking, stretching, and dancing. Mother Nature's medicine. Plants, teas, tinctures, and forest bathing. Fast fashion. Synthetic fibers, dyes, and microplastics that leach into your skin. Fast food, loaded with seed oils, preservatives, and addictive chemicals. Fragrance, found in candles, perfumes, laundry products, air fresheners, and body sprays. Toxic relationships. Emotional stress is physical stress. Chronic stress, the root of dis-ease, the fuel for inflammation. Your Buddha berry tree can't thrive in poisoned soil. It needs clean air, clean water, clean food, and clean love. You are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are tuned in. You are sacred. You are the medicine. Subscribe to D's Dharma at destresswithd.love for all your free healing tools. I'm leaving these for my son in case I'm not near, because no doctor or hospital could help me with mold illness, CIRS or MCAS. Now I'm sharing my lifelong findings, doing the best I can to save my life after full systemic collapse from mold exposure since the womb. You are not alone. You are love. You are peace. You are worth healing. Mama Lovey D.
Air travel is often romanticized, jet-setting across time zones, chasing sunsets above the clouds. But for many of us with chronic illness and trauma histories, stepping onto a plane feels like entering a pressurized chamber of invisible threats. I know this intimately. My first adult flight triggered a bipolar episode while grieving my friend's brother. I was already fragile, and toxic cabin air was the final trigger. Mold thrives in aircraft cabins, in recycled air, spilled moisture trapped in carpets and seats. Poorly maintained systems spread spores, causing respiratory distress, brain fog, and immune dysfunction. Flight attendants breathe this contaminated air daily, while facing strict requirements and unpaid labor. They're fighting for dignity, health, and justice. For trauma survivors, the noise, confinement, and sensory overload can be triggering. Many of us smile through it all while dying inside. We need better air quality, fair wages for flight attendants, and accommodations for chronic illness. To flight attendants and fellow travelers who feel unsafe in the skies, I see you. Your story matters.
Soul medicine for sensitive survivors. You're not broken. You're toxic and traumatized. Soul medicine for my Noah. If I'm gone, these words still hold him. This is not mental illness, not just aging. Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. Your miscarriages, endometriosis. These are mold's receipts, not your failure. They told you recurrent miscarriages equals unexplained. The truth? Mold hijacks reproductive hormones. Heavy metals feed viral persistence. Toxins create precancerous tissue chaos. 9 miscarriages led me to understand mold stops implantation. MS-like paralysis, now no more cane on long walks. I survived what kills. MS equals mold plus heavy metals strangling your nerves. Bipolar equals histamine storms. Your insomnia isn't anxiety. It's your brain desperately detoxing while you sleep. 3 a.m. panic waking became 8 hours uninterrupted. Night sweats gone via hypothalamus detox. Adrenal crashes became deep restoration without supplements. Buddha berry tree. Peace method, mold detox for womb health, heavy metal chelation that fixes circadian rhythms. Trauma alchemy, turn CPTSD into unshakable calm. For those called too sensitive, med-free healing for CIRS, PTSD, NAFLD. You need answers after seeing 10+ doctors. Mission? No one expires before they desire. You are not broken, you are healing. We were told Crocs were comfy, easy, fun. But what if the shoes we trust are quietly hurting us, and our kids? Crocs lack arch support, destabilize the heel, and force your toes to grip unnaturally. Over time, this can lead to plantar fasciitis, tendinitis, and even deformities. For children, loose-fitting Crocs can be dangerous. Daycare providers and physical therapists warn they increase fall risk and may affect foot development. Some Crocs contain toxic materials, like lead and cadmium. These chemicals can seep into your skin, especially when worn for hours. Even schools are taking action. Crocs are being banned, not for fashion but for safety. Your feet carry you through life. They deserve support, stability, and safety. Crocs may be trendy, but your health is timeless.
Your favorite shirt might be slowly poisoning you. That cozy polyester sweater, it's shedding microplastics into your bloodstream. Those wrinkle-free pants, they're loaded with formaldehyde. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the hidden toxins in our clothes and their shocking effects on our health, from liver damage to disrupted microbiomes. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what's lurking in your wardrobe and how to protect yourself.
And it's not just about what these clothes are made of, it's about how they interact with our bodies on a molecular level. The science here is fascinating and, honestly, a bit terrifying.
Let's start with the basics. What exactly are we wearing that's causing these problems?
Well, according to recent research, modern textiles contain a cocktail of chemicals. We're talking about formaldehyde in wrinkle-resistant clothing, heavy metals like lead and chromium in dyes, and phthalates used to increase flexibility in waterproof materials.
Wait, formaldehyde? Like what they use in, embalming?
Exactly. And here's what's concerning. Studies show that formaldehyde can cause severe respiratory problems and skin irritation. For products that come into direct contact with skin, there are strict limits, especially for children under 3 years old.
That's pretty alarming. How do these chemicals actually get into our bodies?
Our skin is actually incredibly absorbent. When these chemicals are in constant contact with our skin, they can enter our bloodstream. And when we sweat, our skin becomes even more permeable.
So working out in synthetic clothes could actually make things worse?
Absolutely. And here's something that might surprise you. Even our efforts to be more environmentally friendly might be backfiring.
What do you mean?
Well, according to a 2025 study in BMC Biology, the trend toward lower washing temperatures and fewer bleaching agents, while better for the environment, is actually leading to increased bacterial growth on our clothes.
Oh, wow. So we're basically creating perfect conditions for bacteria to thrive?
Exactly. The research found that even after washing, clothes can harbor significant amounts of bacteria. We're talking about over 1 million bacterial colonies per sample in items like socks and underwear.
That's a lot of bacteria.
And it gets more interesting. You know how some athletic wear claims to be antimicrobial?
Yeah, that's supposed to be a good thing, right?
Well, a recent study on silver-threaded clothing, which is marketed as antimicrobial, actually found that it increased microbial biomass in the majority of wearers.
Wait, so the antimicrobial clothing actually led to more bacteria?
Yes, and it specifically affected the diversity of bacteria on the skin. The changes were particularly noticeable in the upper back area.
Let's talk about synthetic fabrics. They're everywhere now.
They are, and they're particularly concerning because they're made from petrochemicals. Every time you wash synthetic clothing, it releases tiny plastic particles called microplastics.
And these microplastics, they're not just staying in our water systems, are they?
No, they're not. Recent studies have found these particles in human blood and organs. They're so small they can cross the blood-brain barrier.
That's terrifying. What about things like wrinkle-resistant or stain-resistant treatments?
Those often contain PFAs, per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, also known as forever chemicals, because they don't break down in the environment or our bodies.
Forever chemicals? That doesn't sound good.
It's not. These chemicals have been linked to various health issues, including liver problems, hormone disruption, and even cancer.
You mentioned earlier about bacteria. How does that tie into all this?
Well, our skin has a natural microbiome, beneficial bacteria that help protect us. Synthetic fabrics can trap heat and moisture, disrupting this delicate balance.
So we're not just dealing with toxic chemicals, but also messing with our body's natural defenses?
Exactly. And here's something interesting. Did you know that clothing has been recognized as a disease carrier since the 1500s?
Really? That long ago?
Yes, they called them fomites, objects capable of carrying infectious organisms. And modern research is showing they were onto something.
Speaking of modern research, I saw something recently about smartwatch bands containing toxins, too.
Yes, a December 2024 study found high levels of PFHXA, another forever chemical, in premium smartwatch bands. It's particularly concerning because these are worn directly against the skin for long periods.
So what can we actually do about all this? We can't exactly stop wearing clothes.
The key is making informed choices. Natural fibers like organic cotton, bamboo, and linen are generally safer options. They're breathable and undergo minimal chemical processing.
But those tend to be more expensive, right?
They can be, but think of it as an investment in your health. Plus, natural fibers often last longer when properly cared for.
What about washing? You mentioned earlier that eco-friendly washing might increase bacteria.
Yes, but there are ways to balance environmental consciousness with hygiene. Using natural antimicrobial agents like tea tree oil in your wash can help.
And drying, does that make a difference?
Absolutely. The 2025 study found that humid drying conditions promote bacterial growth. Thorough drying, preferably in sunlight when possible, can help reduce bacterial load.
Are there any specific materials we should absolutely avoid?
Polyester is a big one. It's not only made from petrochemicals, but also tends to trap heat and moisture, creating ideal conditions for bacterial growth.
What about those moisture-wicking workout clothes? They're usually synthetic.
That's a great point. While they do wick away moisture, they're often treated with chemicals to achieve this effect. Natural alternatives like merino wool actually have natural moisture-wicking properties.
So it seems like nature already has solutions for many of these problems.
Exactly. And here's something interesting. Traditional textile knowledge often aligns with what modern science is discovering about fabric safety.
What about labels? How can we know what's in our clothes?
Unfortunately, current regulations don't require full disclosure of chemical treatments, but looking for certifications like GOATS, Global Organic Textile Standard, can help ensure safer choices.
Are there any promising developments in safer textile production?
Yes, there's growing research into bio-based alternatives for things like water resistance and antimicrobial properties. Some companies are even developing fabrics treated with probiotics to support skin health.
Probiotics in clothes? That's fascinating.
It shows how our understanding of the relationship between clothing and health is evolving. We're moving from just avoiding harm to actually promoting well-being.
What's the most important thing for people to remember from all this?
I'd say it's understanding that our skin is our largest organ, and what we put on it matters just as much as what we put in our bodies.
That's a really good way to think about it.
And remember, every small change helps. You don't have to overhaul your entire wardrobe overnight.
What would you suggest as a first step?
Start with items that have the most skin contact: underwear, pajamas, and workout clothes. Choose natural fibers for these first.
That makes sense. Focus on what's closest to our skin.
Exactly. And pay attention to how your body responds. Many people notice improvements in skin issues when they switch to natural fibers.
This has been incredibly eye-opening. Any final thoughts?
Just remember that while this information might seem overwhelming, knowledge is power. Being aware of these issues helps us make better choices for our health.
And sometimes the simplest solutions, like natural fibers and proper washing, are the best ones.
Absolutely. The future of textile production might be high-tech, but it should work with our bodies, not against them.
You are not broken. You are a sensitive being responding with brilliant biological accuracy to a toxic world. This guide is for the canaries, the teachers, the parents, the children, and all who feel leaky and dismissed. You cannot detoxify a body that feels under attack. The first step is always safety and regulation. Nervous system first aid. Start with 5 minutes of morning meditation. Sit in silence, hand on heart, and simply breathe. Name one thing you are grateful for. This tells your fight or flight system to stand down. Spend 20 minutes a day in a park, away from traffic. Earthing reduces inflammation and cortisol. Work with a trauma-informed, mold-literate practitioner when possible. Testing helps personalize your care. You must stop the faucet before mopping the floor. Musty smell equals big clue. Professional testing, me or hurts me too for detailed species breakdown. If moisture forms inside, mold is likely. Small areas, N95 mask, gloves, goggles, scrub with hydrogen peroxide or vinegar. Large areas, always hire certified remediators. Create a clean sanctuary, your safe space. HEPA plus carbon filter running 24/7. Phase 1. Open drainage. Lymph support with lemon water, rebounding, dry brushing. Liver support, milk thistle, NAC, glutathione. Kidney support, filtered water plus pinch of Celtic salt. Phase 2. Bind and remove. Activated charcoal, broad spectrum. Bentonite clay for pesticides and metals. Phase 3. Repair and restore. Mitochondria support, CoQ10, magnesium. Brain support, omega-3s, phosphatidylserine. Food is information. Eat to reduce inflammation. Fresh proteins, healthy fats, low histamine vegetables. Awareness, if it smells musty or makes you foggy, leave. Post-exposure, change clothes, shower, take a binder, hydrate. Gentle movement only. Walking, restorative yoga, qigong. Listen to your mitochondria's limits. The body keeps the score. Hand on heart, I see you, I hear you, we are safe now. Somatic practices, trauma-informed therapy, limbic retraining. Daily routine matters, balance food, binders, breath, movement, rest. HEPA vacuum weekly, change filters regularly. Advanced strategies, infrared sauna therapy 2 to 3 times per week. Red light therapy supports mitochondria. This isn't in my head, it's in my environment. My body is reacting exactly as it should. Seek safe community. Healing is lighter when shared. Rituals, smudging, candles, mantra to energetically clear your home. Honor the body as teacher, not enemy. You, a personal trainer, healed belly bloat at 58 not just by detoxing mold, but by making peace with the wounded, brilliant, and resilient body. Morning meditation, lemon water, gratitude, midday binder, light meal, breathwork, evening calm, magnesium, digital detox. This path is not linear, but it is proven. This is the true biohack. This is lifestyle medicine in its most profound form. You are not broken. You are coming home. Heal your soul and body at D's Dharma. De-stress with D.